Hi, everyone. This is Dennis with Minnesota EV. Welcome. Thanks for joining me today. The question I have today is a 6-year-old 200 mileage EV still any relevant for today? Well, technology is always progressing. And so now what you're seeing is more and more EVs with 250 to 300 to 350 miles or more coming onto the market. And so there's always that sense that, am I going to be missing out if I get something older? Well, one of the benefits of an older EV is the prices are coming down. The used market for EVs is better than ever. And if you've ever thought about dipping your toe into the EV market, now is a great time to do it because used EV prices have really plummeted over the last year and a half to two. So the question is, can 200 miles really do it for most people? And one of the things that I've had to think about, and one of the things you may want to think about is, you know, how often do I drive more than 200 miles a day? How often am I on the road tripping, 200 miles? And that's where I came to the conclusion that 200 miles is probably sufficient. So if you think about like a Nissan Leafs, from 2018, 2019, 220 miles, you know, that gets you a lot of different places, a 200-mile radius of where you live. Chevy Bolts, 250 miles, that's still pretty good. And so I just purchased this month a 2019 Audi e-tron Prestige package with about 68,000 miles. And now you're getting these cars into the low 20s, mid 20s, sometimes with tax credits and so forth. So this is the car that I bought. And, probably full charge, maybe you get like a total of, 210 miles, maybe a little bit less, definitely going to be less during winter, and I'll keep track of that. But this is an amazing car. It's just beautiful. And if you think about like a car like this, is that, well, you can get a Nissan Leaf for cheaper and you can get a Chevy Bolt for cheaper. For the low to mid 20s, you're getting just a beautiful luxury car. And you get better charging. So this will have about 150 kilowatt charging. One of the things that if you watch out of spec reviews with Kyle Connor and his team is that this is one of the better charging EVs, even though it's not like the fastest charging like you get on some of the 800 volt systems. This still is pretty spectacular. And so what I'll do is I'll just show you a little bit around the car and what you can expect if you are looking for a good used car. Check out the e-trons because they're absolutely packed with features. And so I'm just going to turn my camera around and we'll just give you a brief tour of the vehicle. All right, we're going to start at the back of the vehicle and we'll open up the tailgate. One of the things that I really like about this vehicle is just how big of a back area you get. And so it might be a little hard to tell from the shadows is that you just get a huge area to work with. You get these little side cubbies where you can, store things like your umbrellas. You've got a little bit of underfloor storage where you've got actually a real spare tire that you can use. You can fold down the seats and you get just a lot of great, room for everything that you need. If we go to the back seat, you get just tremendous amount of space. So even, sitting behind myself where I sit, and I'm just a little under 6 foot, you just get a tremendous amount of back space. This particular model has heated back seats, which will be nice for my passengers. They get their own temperature controls. This also has a 16 speaker Bang & Olufsen sound system, which is just unbelievable. Just one of the best sound systems that I've ever had. And so you can see that this is just an incredibly beautiful car. And I'll just fire it up here. And so you get just a beautiful screen technology. And although, there's more modern technologies out there. Just for a 6-year-old car, this has got pretty good tech. And so you've got heated and ventilated front seats. If I hit a little button over here, this will show that you've got also massaging seats, which is pretty cool. Now that's a feature that I may not use all the time, and one of the things that I thought about as I go, through ownership on this car, if those ever give out, I probably won't repair them because I won't miss them too much. The bigger thing here is just to have those ventilated and heated seats. So you can see down here, I've got heated seats, ventilated seats in the summer. You've got really nice tech, like where you can, program your garages. When you pull up to the driveway, it automatically pulls up that menu so that you can just open your garage. And you've got the just fit and finish of an Audi, which is great. Also, you've got big sunroof, which is great. So lets in a lot of nice light. And one of the things that I'm just super impressed with is just how smooth this car rides. It's absolutely quiet. All the windows are double paned, or double glazed, I guess. So you just get a whisper quiet ride. And then coupled with the sound system, it's a pretty amazing experience. One of the things that keeps improving with electric cars is the car technology, but I would have to say that, in this particular vehicle, it takes a little bit longer, I think, to learn how to use the software. So if I want to check my state of charge, I just have to go through a couple of menus to get to it. So that's a little clunky, but it's not bad. And I've been, seeing probably 80% charge, about 160 miles. So 100% charge should be a little bit over 200. And from a day-to-day experience, that's just as fine because I actually work from home. So the whole idea of a 200-mile EV is just more than enough range, I think, for a lot of people. And then with the fast charging, as the infrastructure gets better, if I needed to stop someplace and fill up for just a little bit, that's going to be just fine. Now, not the most efficient EV. This is a heavy car, and right now I'm getting 2.5 miles per kilowatt hour. I'm, coming out of a BMW i3 where I would average about 4. And so that is, much different. But if you think about like an SUV, whether it's a, Toyota or, anything else, is that's going to be just as inefficient. So this car, as inefficient as it is still 3 times more efficient with the fuel you put in it than our Toyota Highlander. And so if you think about all the features that you get in this thing, for the low to mid 20s, you can pick one of these things up. And you can even get a better deal on probably Nissan Leafs, from 2019 to 2022. Those prices are dropping. If you want a little bit more range, you can go with a used Tesla Model, 3 or Y. But if you want just a high quality experience and a luxury experience, it's hard to beat the Audi e-tron. And this is by far the nicest car that I've ever owned. So my goal is to drive this car, I think, to about 200,000 miles before I look at getting something else. And, the good news is that the infrastructure keeps getting better and better. And so now some of the places that are just 135 miles away from me that I go to on a regular basis now have DC fast chargers so that I could charge there and then get back home. And so as the infrastructure gets better, it's, you're going to have just a better experience even with a 200-mile range EV. And if you, want to see what these cars can do on a road trip, if you go to Kyle Connor's channel on Out of Spec Reviews, he and Alyssa have road tripped this thing all over the country. So I don't do a lot of road trips during the winter. This is currently November of 2024. So one of the things that I will be looking at is doing some road trips in the spring and the summer. and then just reporting out on how those things go. Well, I hope you found this interesting and helpful. And if you have any questions that you'd like me to answer about this vehicle or EVs in general, just put them down in the comments below. Have a great day, everybody.